the button. That'd be better. Yep.
All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief. This is our after party show with special guest host Carol Benning, and brought to you by the good people at Dentine. What? No, that's not right. Chris is a gentleman and a scholar. He sure is. They have Tesla semis now. Oh boy, there's a potion for disaster, eh? Anyway, welcome back to the show. Hope you guys enjoyed that summary. I have no idea if I did a good job. We're trying to get the camera working, and the boys got the cords and the cables and stuff, but I noticed the darn camera kicked out halfway through the show, so I'm not quite sure what I'm doing wrong, but I suppose we'll figure that out as we go forward. I think I'm going to minimize the camera now because we don't really need that. So goodbye, camera. Poof, gone. And our special guest today is Steven. Steven, are you on the call here today?
Yep, I'm here.
Wow, and it sounds like he's pretty excited to be here too. Wow, all right.
Always.
Come on, Steven, some enthusiasm, man.
Always.
This is TRI's Daily Brief After Party. This is where all the hot chicks are.
If you have a Tesla, if you're a truck driver driving a Tesla semi, does that mean you can you don't need to stop to rest? You can just sleep, right? While it's driving?
Yeah, don't you remember the Simpsons episode where Homer and Bart became semi-truck drivers?
Oh, I never
What
saw
was
it.
the name of that? The auto driver or something like that? And that was a big secret. Oh, you're not allowed to give out the secret that truck drivers don't actually drive the trucks anymore. Actually,
Yeah.
interesting sort of they always say whatever happens in The Simpsons, they're pretty good at predicting the future. So
Yeah, I was gonna say.
okay, I think probably the best thing for us to do is just jump right in. Everybody got a big whack of Beamish rhetoric there a few minutes ago. Isn't that funny how Jerome Powell can? So Meg, don't feel so badly. Even Jerome Powell cannot afford a home in Canada. What a joke! This fucking society. Like, what the hell is going on in this place? I guess this is the whole Klaus, you will owe nothing. Even the banksters will not be able to afford the housing. Oh, God. These assholes. So I will stop screen sharing. So stop share. Boosh. Now, Steven, if you could do the honors and screen share, I think I can make this thing work. Ooh, look at that. Fancy schmancy. Okay, now I have to move the OBS thing. Just give me a second. We will go. We won't hit that button. Control Alt Delete. That's what I'm supposed to hit, right? I think that's it. Hey, there we are. Control Alt Delete. All right. Steven, your screen is now on the screen. So I will put myself on. Oh, actually, say something if you could, sir. Uh-oh. I don't hear him.
Sorry, I was muted.
There you go. Is there somebody on
Don't go too far
YouTube
away,
page
Brian.
there? I see there's 6 people over there. Can someone just confirm that you can hear Steven all right? You want to say maybe the alphabet or something?
A B C D E F G. Hello, hello.
Sounds good.
Hey, I think we're ready to go here. So I'm going to put myself on mute. Everybody says they can hear. So tell us what's on your mind, sir.
All right, cool. Yeah, to segue with what you were saying about Bitcoin. Some interesting things happened since last time I was on the DB. My edge, right? I chart in the BTC USD, but also I chart in a gold pair in the M2. So I got this big structure here on the gold pair, and it officially fired. It meets all my rules. Tight RSI wedge, as you can see. PRZ is down in this area, and we just clipped it, right? and we put in a W off it. Now the catch is that this is the gold chart, right? So how do you trade this, right? Well, on the USD chart, I usually take whatever patterns here and go up, but that pattern's right here. Oh, sorry, right here. This thing. Now this thing's getting long in the tooth. When we get to 1.41, that's like locking in profits. And if we pretty much lose this level here, this trade's over. So that's why I'm just send it with Brian. I'm waiting and seeing what we do here. Big ol' wait and see. I need 2 closes below this orange line, and that on its own is a trade setup of mine that I could short here, risk to new highs, and then take profit down here. But obviously that hasn't fired yet. So I'm still waiting to see what's going on here. But like Brian's been saying, now's the time to be accumulating, right? So is this the bottom on the gold chart? There's a good chance that this is the bottom on the gold chart. Is it the bottom on the USD chart? Don't know, right? It all depends on what gold does. It's a trick with these ratio pairs. I don't have a big bull setup on the USD chart. There's nothing here. So that makes me think that we have to set something up at some point in time, whether it's one more clip up and then we come down and then we put it in a nice pattern like this, right? Something like this would be like a pattern of mine, boom, or something. But I think we're going to be coming back down to these lows at some point in time. Combine that with this here. These are the totals charted in gold. Also had some nice, beautiful setups that played out. And now we're coming up into the target area. This is 61.8 of this Gartley here. And look what's down here. See, I wrote it. I thought this was a TD error because there was a huge gap when we made it. And all of a sudden it appeared, but it hasn't gone away. So this is a little sus. We'll have to see. I think we can come all the way back down here in the macro level. So the point is, I'm with Brian. I think it behooves the swing trader to be looking for shorts at some point. Not yet, though. I mean, follow your setup, but for me, I got to wait a little bit longer. But that's extremely constructive. I mean, this setup last time, right after I was on the last DB, this is extremely constructive. Because if this thing holds, I don't see why it couldn't. I mean, we got a lot of. This is a big pattern. This is a 1 week big. All right, so 2024, 2025, it fits right in with our whole 4-year cycle. Top in a couple years. So that's really good. So I think just what Brian's been doing is spot on. Accumulating alts. I think that's the way to go. As far as before, sorry, I'm getting this thing bouncing. Let me get rid of it. Okay. Being a bit of a macro bear. And so my setups were actually earlier in the year very clear, down near the top of the market. But the past month, the bear case has been getting taken apart for me. The big bear case, right? Like the doom. What's that guy on Twitter that always posts bear stuff? Like that case has been getting torn down for me on my charts. Like I'll give you an example. This thing earlier in the year, this thing looked like complete doom to me. Taiwan semiconductor manufacturing, it's a proxy for tech, all tech basically, right? You can see this chart, like parabolic move, textbook bear setups, big move down. But look, we crossed the 1.41, so that engages my steep trend line. So LJ outside this trend line is bullish. And sure enough, we LJ'd. I like to see 2 closes past this orange line, 2 candle body closes, 1 candle body close, 2 candle body closes. If this pattern was still alive, we shouldn't be up here. Which leads me to say these patterns are done. And this chart's been replicated a bunch of other tech charts. So I can't say I'm doom or macro bear anymore. Down here, I couldn't see why we couldn't keep going. But you know, there's always bull charts and bear charts. You're trying to take where's the weight of the evidence. And for now, the weight of the evidence on me is no more doom bear, but generally up, which is kind of what winds up with our forgetting everyone's name, our TRI blog for 2023. That was our general consensus, wasn't it? Brian, slightly up over the course of 2023. Oh, no worries.
So sorry if I'm messing up. Somebody I had the chat Zoom on your screen there a moment, but I got rid of it. What was the question again? Can you ask me again?
Our TRI blog. I forget the guy's name that runs the blog. He
Josh?
posted for 2023. Josh, thank you.
And if you love him, call him Joshy.
Joshy.
Sorry. Anyway, yeah, he wrote a blog, and I think you can make quite an argument for an up end to the year. The only problem is through the year, it's probably going to be pretty choppy.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm seeing. So, like when all my charts align, you know, I expect a strong move one direction, right? That's a general principle. When everything lines up, you kind of expect a strong move. When you see conflicting charts, you can kind of expect chop, and that's exactly what I'm getting now is chop. So,
yeah. This is going to get a little crazy here this year, I think.
But this is a very interesting thing. My view has changed too since last video. I wanted to bring it up. Of course, these are the giant. This is the harmonic version of your fear greed cycle. Put in the Dow Gold.
Wow, that's fascinating.
When you get out of the USD, you get your 88.6 retraces. Is what we're getting.
That's cool. How you can get the data going all the way back to the turn of the century there on the gold.
Yeah, I know, right?
Sick.
Well, you don't even need to this, of course, perfectly mirrors just the normal Dow USD because it was before they devalued the dollar like crazy.
Yeah.
But once you get over here, then yeah, all of a sudden the data is super crazy. Obviously, the Dow did not drop like this in US dollar terms. But what I wanted to say was our greed cycle, harmonically, this is the pattern that's going to put it in. I mean, it's here. It's already fired. Of course, that was 2011, right? This is like super macro, but this is useful, and I'm going to explain why. It might seem like this is way too zoomed out to be of any use, but it's not actually because of how everything kind of connects. So obviously, at some point, we're going to be going up here. And if we copy all the previous ones, you know, we tagged 1.41 and we broke, right? 1.41 and we put it M'd out. 1.41 for this thing is up here. So kind of just making a giant like move. Anyway, that's way in the future. We're talking now.
2035, eh? Probably right around that
Something like that. Yeah, let's try and stay alive until then.
Maybe that harmonic, is there any way that point D can come in? Well, I guess that would make sense. You know, Cole's expecting all hell to break loose in like 27, 28 kind of thing. Interesting how like it looks like you're suggesting that point D comes in around 30, I guess.
So yeah, that's what I was going to say. This pattern, I think, is no longer going to happen. So what I'm seeing right now, if Cole is right with those dates, I'm seeing a move up to there.
Yeah.
Then we come down, check that, and then we keep going, something like this.
Okay.
Because my setup, I'm basically just trading the biggest pattern to the biggest pattern to the biggest pattern.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the biggest pattern in this time frame. So obviously the super macro trend is up, but we zoom in, what do we see? And this is where it gets pretty clear on this chart. This Dow Gold gives excellent signals. Hold on, let me zoom in a little more. There we go. Let me get rid of this. So we're just trading the biggest pattern, This is a bear pattern. We came up here. This was 2018. Of course, this is on gold and USD. We topped out in, that was COVID, wasn't it? Yeah, January 20, which is right here. Anyway, we come down here. We put in a fresh bull setup. This is a 2-week pattern, the same size as this one up here. So now we're bullish. And now what are we doing? typically, when I have a bull setup come in, we tag 61.8 as my first target, and I look for a retrace to come back down. And my homebrew retrace area is between these two lines. The old, I'm using fib drawing, the old 38.2 is what I'm looking at. And look, February 22, we put that in. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is this thing is still very much active and alive. I was looking for a big bear move here, like, the Doomsday Bear. But we never quite tagged this. I was looking for this right here. This would have been a big bear move. This would have been a 3-week pattern. Would have reversed this one. But we missed it. It's supposed to be 88.6. You can see 85.6. We missed it. Instead, we came down. And on the lower time frame, now we're putting in fresh bull patterns. Never mind my indicators. They're telling me that, sorry if I'm getting too technical, but this is not a bear setup I would want to take. Even if this like came in now. Like, I need Willie to be pretty, not like terribly oversold, but to be near that area. I need a tight RSI wedge. Even if we popped up here real quick, I don't think these indicators would be setting up right. So what I'm trying to say is I think we're just going to be chopping our way up higher here. I think this, I think our greed cycle is underway. You're not seeing it yet. And remember, Brian, you said, when this thing calms down and just starts going sideways, then you know that things are looking like the greed cycle is going to take off. So I think that's what we're doing right now.
Well, I mean, this is the Dow versus gold, right?
Right.
I think we're actually in a phase where the Dow and the gold are going to move in unison. Like, it might be interesting to look in the early 1940s at how this relationship acted, and in
that would
the
just be
early
sideways
1980s how this relationship acted. Yeah, so there's notice 1980 through 87 or so.
Yeah.
That's what I think is going to happen here. And I think that's what you just said, is we're just going to slowly keep just grinding our way higher here, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Now go back to the 1940s. Let's see what happened in there. Because this is cool. You guys have got this data going back into the 1940s. I'm too stupid to figure this out. But yeah, okay, you see mid-1940s, yeah, same sort of thing. Notice it just grinds its way higher here.
Mm-hmm.
And then, unfortunately, right where your mouse is right there, that's when the fucking hyperinflation goes absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
So why not the same thing happen this time around too, huh?
Yeah, well, so, there, and I don't know what the shock was that brought the market down in 46, 47, but we all know, well, maybe you guys know, maybe some of you don't, but there was a pretty big stock market crash in 1987.
Mm-hmm.
And I would expect to see the same thing. And also, too, we talk about coal and his expectations. See, 1987, see how the market broke hard there?
Yeah.
So we're probably going to see the same thing happen in 2027. So it feels as though, and probably Bitcoin, I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin rallies up and then has some sort of big shock event there in 27.
Yeah.
And we're saying, according to our cycles, we should expect to see Bitcoin top out in, late 2025, early 2026. Maybe they take it on an extra year just to, wow, that Beamish guy, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Ignore him. Look, the market keeps going higher. This time it's different and all that bullshit, right? And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, in 2027, we have just a horrendous crash. I could see that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
totally see that.
And you're 141. So what's your technical objective here?
For
you say
full
like
greed
1.41s or something is the big number for you?
Yeah, on the Dow Gold to be up here. I mean,
Wow.
who the heck knows what that is in Dow USD?
Mm.
Can't really figure that out because you don't know what the price of gold will be. But
Well, if we go through that massive hyperinflation thing, I could see that happen. But I guess the weird thing is with this relationship, for that to happen, though, that would mean that the gold price sort of stays calm, but the Dow itself goes up.
over time. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to happen. Maybe we just come up to here. But yeah, this is what the chart is suggesting.
Yeah. So, like the early 80s and like the early 40s, I think you're going to get your grind higher here on this.
Yeah, that's exactly what I see. One last macro chart, and this thing just came in recently too. I wasn't missed before, but this is consumer discretionary price in consumer staples. So risk on goes up, risk off comes down. See, last time I put in a big pattern was the bottom of 2008, and we just put in another giant pattern, 2 week pattern. How big was this thing? 3 weeks. So this is almost as big, and we put it in December low. This chart suggests we already put in a market low on USD chart, maybe.
This
So
means
obviously,
that risk
mhm,
is back on.
that risk is back on. Yeah, suggests it. Yeah,
I could see an inverted head and shoulders there. Which would make sense because I think that they're saying that the party will go on for maybe another month or two, and then we're going to get into the debt ceiling debate bullshit, and that
hmm.
would probably be the forming of the right shoulder.
Where's the inverted head and shoulders? I've not
So the
really seen one.
the left shoulder is your X point there in June of last year.
Oh, I see. I see.
No, that's a couple years ago. Just last, yeah, that low. Oh, right where the X is. Yeah. So
Ah, I
that's
see. I
your
see.
left shoulder
Down,
there.
up,
Yeah.
down, up,
Yeah. Yeah.
down, up. Yeah,
There you
yeah,
go.
something like that.
Yeah.
All right, for
So we
sure.
rally up here, risk on,
Hmm.
into that double top. What a big surprise. You'll see where resistance is. And actually, look at that. There's some cheeky gaps right there, right where you had your mouse. So that neckline to me looks pretty damn important. Well, no, I wouldn't go all the way up there. Yeah, right in
Right
that
here.
area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I see that. Right here.
And then we back off, and that's probably around debt ceiling debate kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And also, too, I noticed that your president last night, man, he's getting heckled like crazy. So the Republican Party has like absolutely no respect for the president right now at all.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, it looks like risk on can go on a little bit further here, right?
Yeah. But I guess my main point is that the worst of the bear market is I think it's pretty much over. Um, but yeah, in the more near term, I'll tell you exactly what I got going on here.
Well, and also too, like I don't know whether you do it. Actually, it'd be interesting if you did like CPI in gold terms. That would be fun chart to see whether there's
CPI in
any
gold
sort
terms.
of correlation. But from what I understand, most of the sort of knowledgeable people in the market are saying that CPI has topped. So that's interesting. What's this chart?
This is the inflation rate.
Oh, there you
Would
go.
this
Same sort
be
of
the
thing.
CPI? Well, it would kind of go along with it, wouldn't it? Year-over-year inflation rate.
Yeah, so you can see V top right now. Question is, do we, and people were kind of talking about how the inflationary pressures are already starting to build again.
Yeah.
So, as we go through this seasonal window, crude oil probably should work its way higher here into the spring.
Yeah.
And I'm actually uber bullish of the eggs here.
Oh
Shout
yeah.
out to Josh. I don't know whether you're watching, Josh, but his little farm, FARM, that's looking like a really interesting little chart down here. So
Yeah.
if you
I'm liking
are,
it
oh,
too.
look at that. Yeah. So if you are a risk taker and you're interested in placing a bet in the marketplace, I sure like the look of that farm. And look at the
This is
little bottom that's trying to come in here right down at your PRZ level.
yeah. We're
So
just hanging out here.
if this thing can
No
tick
movement
back
there.
up, then it's probably off to the races.
All right. But in the near term,
Hey, boy, look at all those W's. I think we call that a
mhm.
gold stake setup now. We used to call it Davo, but I don't know. Davo's kind of losing his cash.
Yeah, I
Cachet.
know. He's
So
the
we
king of
call it the
YouTube
gold
these days.
stake setup now.
So this is what I'm seeing right now in the near term. Um, this was a bull setup, and we just kind
Oh.
of slowly worked our way up and finally hit the first target, 61.8, which is right here. As you can see, we're right there. So typically what happens after 61.8, we'll come back down and enter this zone for another retest.
Ooh,
So that's kind
I
of what
like
I'm
that.
seeing, which would make sense, right? Because our
Do you
downtrend
do
line.
Foggin bombs at all? Do you ever draw any Foggin bombs?
No, because I already have so many pips on my chart. It like makes my chart
That's all
go
right.
crazy.
Just
I draw one for you though. I have the
yeah,
scanner.
placate. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm thinking there. So
Hmm.
interesting. If you did like
Yeah,
4.6. Ah, oh, hello. Look at that.
look at
Son of
that.
a bitch.
Oscillate around right around it.
Yeah, so yeah, it would make
Pretty
sense
cool.
that a smarty pants like you would be using Foggin bombs as well.
I know. I just got so many lines on my chart.
I
What
know.
about the 2.618? Does that have some kind of play in here?
Should. Well, 2.618 was probably, well, I mean, throw it on there. And my hunch is one of those peaks was probably the 2.618. And
Ah,
it was,
there it is.
where is that? All right,
Just
yeah,
shy
so
of it
that's
right here.
that peak there. And
Yeah.
actually, we came back down. We never did trade back down to the 100 level. So if we can work ourselves up through 2.618, then we should go up and tag that 4669. So I would say that if we reject here off this 4669, and you said this is a 61.8, then we
Right here.
probably come back. You know, I would expect that we would come back down, and you see that tail that's right on the 2.618 level there.
Right
That
here.
probably is the where she wants to come back to and eat that tail there,
Yeah.
which
Totally
would
see
be
it.
right on your trend line. You know, that would make
Yep.
sense.
And the interesting thing is that this would just keep this bull setup here, and it's a double bull setup on the other um, indexes. It would keep that alive, and no doom, no nothing, just coming back down, staying boring, and hopefully putting another W and working our way higher. But it's just what I see. I have a bunch of my VIX charts are interesting because they're at levels where I can see some sort of reaction happen. So maybe we get a swift move down, but I don't know. Like I said. Anyway, I'll stop talking about that macro stuff. I know
That's kind of cool
it's
though.
only useful to a point.
That's the bearish QQQs, eh?
Correct.
And so that's down at a PRZ as well, eh?
Right. It's a little early. I usually like to be closer to this green line,
Yeah.
but this is fine to react. But there's no MACD div yet, no bull div, not
Uh,
even a potential bull div yet. But Willie is near stupid. But I could see this giving some sort of reaction up there, up 38.2 or something, and then maybe busting. Kind of what I'm seeing right now.
okay.
Um, yeah, there's some AI names I mentioned on the TRASOF meeting the other day, but the FA was a little fluffy.
Yeah, I missed you last night. I arrived late. Sorry,
Yeah,
dude.
oh, it's all right.
But
I was the
it
first
was
one to
cool to
present.
see you in the group last night.
There's some other companies I'm looking at for the future. 3D printing.
Whoa.
Well, first show you the chart,
I'd love to get into the business. Man, some of those 3D printers right now, it's ridiculous the stuff that they're making.
right? Yeah, it's really cool stuff. Someone on TRI shared me this emerging tech chart, and I've been adding to it stuff I find. But the 3D printers, that's what you want to call them, right here. A few of them have debt, so stay away. But a few of them don't have debt. It's just a matter of the rest of the FA. Anyway, this one, with the broader market, I can see it's coming back down and retesting our lows here.
Hmm.
And this is the FA. I mean, let's see. I was still doing my research with this, but a bit heavy on the shares.
Hmm.
They're losing money. Price to book's not that great.
Hmm.
Terrible, actually, but no debt. So I don't know. Nothing too much to write home about. This one looked better. forgot to mention this on the meeting last night. Hold on, let me load. And this FA looked a little bit better. Sorry, my computer's really slow and it runs Zoom for some reason. A lot more shares out.
Yikes.
Price to book is okay. But yeah, that's a lot of shares. All these, it's really hard to find a good FA company. Like I said, these were the best two ones that have. So
Just be patient. Munch is, if they're still losing money at some point, they're going to run out of cash and they're going to need to roll the stock back, and that's when you want to pounce.
Yeah, exactly. There was a couple of AI stocks that they rolled back recently, but they're still losing money as well. So.
Yeah, what I don't understand is if the AI was half decent, wouldn't it predict that the stock price was going to fall?
I know, right?
Wouldn't it recommend actually shorting itself?
Yeah, I know.
I don't. Frankly speaking, I'm not
really
overly impressed with his AI stuff. I think it's a load of horse shit.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
But see, that's the thing, right? Is that the technology guys, they all fucking love to circle jerk with each other. And, at the end of the day, does it actually work? I watched this one guy the other day with the ChatGPT thing. And he's like, oh, well, you can't do that. And you got to remember that you have to move that around. Then you can't do that. But you got to remember there has to be a certain amount of white spaces in the scripting and stuff. And no, you wouldn't know that if you didn't know it. So, I mean, is this thing really intelligent?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a sign of true intelligence when you're understandable to people that aren't smart. Like, if you have to be smart to talk to another smart person, you're really not that smart. But when you know how to talk to somebody that's, like, way dumber than you, I think that's a sign of real intelligence because you really understand something to make it simpler.
Right.
Like a good user interface. Really smart person. It took a really smart person to think of a user interface that doesn't confuse the user. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same thing with the AI. It's like.
I mean, it's baby steps. It's the beginning. And if anything, here, everybody at TRI, hopefully you're learning that these silly humans, they overreact. And, they do dumb things like just go fucking, all in. Well, AI is the future, so let's go and, just buy everything AI. But they don't really know what the hell they're doing. It's a bit sad, really, in my opinion. But anyway, aside from that, what AI stock is it you want us to buy?
Exactly. Oh, man. I figured just for the heck of it, I was going to bid a gap here.
Big Bear. Well,
what the heck do they do? I have no idea. It's like terrible. Don't listen to me.
That's interesting, though. Like, you had a legit PRZ down there at what price is that?
If I had known about it earlier, it'd been nice. 60, 70 cents.
I mean, like, that's a legitimate harmonic?
Absolutely. It's a butterfly. It's my most powerful setup is the butterfly.
Fascinating. Yeah. Now, wouldn't the AI know that?
AI is yeah, exactly. I barely know it. How would the AI know it? I barely know it. Yeah.
All right. And so what, would you work stink bids on these things, or would you wait for them to come back down and wait for some confirmation or something?
I'd probably just work stink bids. Just scatter my bids around the RLZ and below.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's all up to you. But
how many shares are out on this thing? Do I dare ask?
No, you do dare ask. I wouldn't have shown it to you if it was ridiculous.
BBAI. Interesting.
126 million out.
97% owned by insiders? What the fuck?
Yeah. Only 600 employees, so it's a decent sized company. Something's going on here.
That's a bit suspicious. I mean, they have no money. They've got 25 cents a share, so basically they got about $20-30 million. Look at the income, minus $211 million. Wow. So that's weird. Yeah, they're selling $260 million worth of product. and yet their income is minus 211 million. Something doesn't sound right about that.
There's a lot of money going on.
I didn't think you had to pay robots like working wages.
I know, right? Just the devs, just the developers, apparently.
What a weird
So
share count. What the hell does that mean? That scares me because I think what that means is they did a big financing, and at some point that stock is going to come out and it's going to hit the market and hit it hard.
huh.
That's
Oof.
bizarre. That's very bizarre.
So
Anyway.
yeah, it's definitely worth looking at the FA with these stocks against
Yeah, and
Bayern
this
and
is like a 3 day chart, eh? Wow.
yeah. So maybe this thing just comes down to near zero and goes flat for a long time. That could definitely be the case
Well, there's
with
a big
AI
gap on your
narrowing.
chart there at the midpoint of that reload zone, eh? So
Yeah, big right here.
that's probably where the fight will be.
Yeah, there's a. Oh, and this one too. I want to bring it up since it's kind of interesting. This is an extremely shorted stock. It's the FTX bank, Silvergate.
Oh, well, that's a bank actually. I mean, they
That's a
just
bank,
happen
yeah,
to have got themselves caught with a whole bunch of that
with
stupid paper. But
75% of the float is sold short or long sold,
that
I
would
should say.
not surprise me. Wow, look at that, eh? Huh.
Yeah, so I wonder if there's something going on here. If there's any kind of squeeze can start with this.
Could be. It's got a double bottom working.
Yeah, there's a double bottom there, and I got a setup too. If
Oh,
crypto
it's
stays
harmonic,
upbeat,
eh? Son of a
yeah,
bitch.
yeah. If
And this
crypto
thing's
stays
got
upbeat,
a
I can see this
long
thing
way to
go.
come back.
Yeah.
Interesting. Change that chart to a log scale, and did that head and shoulders actually hit its price objective? Oh yeah, looks like it definitely has. Huh.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, below the target probably.
And I think I was actually, isn't that interesting how it came right back down to basically where I originally bought the stock. Hmm.
You were in this, Brian? Right
Yeah,
here?
I bought it at 7 and change, sold it at 15, thought all proud of myself. I doubled my money, and look how much money I left on the table. And I have a
Dang.
bad habit of doing that, in
You just unloaded the whole thing, huh? Something scared you away
yeah,
from it?
I don't know why. This one in particular, I just was like, sell the whole thing at a double, and look, I can go and wave my dick around. Look how good I am. Blah blah blah. But
You
holy
bought like
shit, did I
ridiculously
ever leave a
cheap
lot of
and you
money on the
sold.
table?
Yeah. I mean, down here you look like a genius.
Well, I bought that W. Right, I just bought the
Yeah.
W, and like I said, it doubled, and I sold half on a double. Actually, no, I don't think I bought the W. I actually bought like the reload zone test of the W of that bottom,
Okay.
and my double was like around $16 or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see something like this. RLZ down here.
It was
Wow.
somewhere in that area. Yeah. But wow,
Yeah,
look how
you
much
never
money
know.
left on the table. What a dummy.
It's
But
still above
that's
your buy price.
interesting. I didn't realize that it had gone and W'd out here again.
Yeah, so I think they're being investigated right now, and BlackRock just increased. I guess they have a stake in them, and they just recently increased their stake. So
Yeah,
BlackRock, they're friends with the people in charge. I don't
pretty
know why they
much, eh?
can't drop these charges.
And didn't somebody mysteriously? I mean, man, you don't really hear too much about that SBF guy now. But didn't they like
Yeah,
mysteriously fine $5 billion or something?
yeah, yeah,
So there's the whole fucking thing stinks. It just stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
yeah,
But W's are W's are W's. So
yeah. So it's an idea,
mm.
and I think that's about all I have.
Well, that's quite a bit. So I
Yeah,
ain't complaining.
last one. Since you're here, I was listening to a guy talking about. Sorry, it's more macro. If you hate macro, I'm sorry. Listening to a guy talk about liquidity, and that's all he does is he tracks liquidity, and he says it's basically the number one reason why markets go up or down. More liquidity, less liquidity. But he talks about it. It's like more complex. He wrote a whole book. I don't quite understand it, but he says that of course the basic I do, but he said crypto, right? Oh, it's got nothing behind it. It's kind of the purest expression of liquidity because it's just extra liquidity, which kind of makes sense because crypto always leads. So I thought that was a good explanation. If liquidity is, as he's understands it, like prime component, it makes sense that crypto is so reliant. If so reliant on liquidity that anyway, I don't know if I explained that correctly. But the point is, he said, I have this chart saved here. Hold on.
This is the whole sort of don't fight the Fed, right? Because technically the
Right.
Fed is draining liquidity out of the system right now.
Yeah, and then and this is where I don't understand it, but he was saying that actually, net speaking, liquidity is going up. World liquidity, global global liquidity. Don't quote me on that though. Anyway, the point
It would
is,
be interesting to see what China's doing. Are they jacking up money supply there in China?
I don't know. I know their market has recently like jackknifed up pretty hard, and it's just recently now coming down.
Yeah, we had a few Chinese stocks in the meeting last night, but you know me and China.
I
I hate
know.
China.
But this was just one more chart for the bulls, the macro bulls. This is JP Morgan, just a too big to fail bank, right? And you know what they say about the financials. If financials aren't happy, no one's happy.
Yeah.
Well, put this on M2 because it's a long-term chart. M2 always gives better signals on a very long-term chart. And these patterns are catching the bottoms very clearly. 2009, that was the bottom there. We almost hit our first target, which was the COVID high. Came back down, nothing, nothing. But now, this pattern here, see, I like to, the retest of this pattern would be this gray line or this red line, which I didn't draw. And we just tagged the gray line. So we're finding support here. We zoom in, and I got a big bull pattern right on that gray line that just started moving. This was like the October bottom. So just another big macro chart that suggests that that might have been the bottom back there, in USD at least.
Huh.
Yeah. So
Nice
our next level,
RSI turn there as well, eh?
yeah. Maybe we get a small correction here back down to the previous red or gray lines, but then this typical pattern usually moves pretty swift. It's a bats usually move quicker. I don't expect this to come up here at some point. Maybe we end 2023, somewhere around here or something. I don't know. But of course, what does this mean? It's just macro, more reason that I think that might have been the bottom back there in October, or September, October. Anyway, I think that's all I got.
That was
Hope it
awesome.
wasn't too boring.
Yeah, good stuff. Any questions for Steven? I kind of screwed up the here's the Zoom chat that I had on the screen there earlier, so let's get that off of there. So let's see, any questions? What are you guys saying here? DGC and Genesis seems to have made peace too. Or DGC and Gemini, kind of confused with these similar names. All right.
Yeah, they're working out the
IRS.
differences.
Oops, sorry.
No, go ahead.
You have any idea what Nicholas is talking about?
Yeah, they finally got a plan, I think, to repay the Gemini Earn users.
Oh, Silbert and the twins.
Yeah, the Winklevoss twins.
Oh, is that the Winklevosses? Those guys got
Yep.
caught?
Yeah, they got caught. Yeah.
That's so funny because those two are
Half
so
caught.
fucking arrogant. That'd be hilarious if they got wiped out.
No, I know. I like them though.
But that's not very nice of me to say. Jeez. Bad
They got half caught. The other exchange so far has been good. They segregated the staking, the degen staking connected with Genesis part from the exchange part, and they still claim that they got one-to-one assets on the exchange part. So that's been good so far.
Okay.
But the Earn users lost all their money, but they're gonna try and get them back. So
Nicholas says its public face is a product of reinforced learning, quote unquote, which means it is enhanced by individuals, which means it has a kind of personality bias of its trainers. If anyone is interested, you can search for reinforced learning to get a grasp of why ChatGPT spits out so many good results. They are reinforced good results. He, he, he. All right. Thank you, Nicholas. Appreciate it. Cole says 2027 U.S. Uranus return, 84-year cycle, 28 through 29 next Schmidta year. So if anything, that makes sense, right? Square up the books into 28, 29. So if anything, I like the idea that they pump this this whole Fakezi up into that. And then 28, 29 is like sort of position squaring. And if I'm not mistaken, we just had a Schmidta year, right? So if anything, all your bottoms and all the risk off things, they would align with that. So you have on your screen right now, this is the communications ETF.
Yeah, this was
XLC.
Zach's sector seasonality play that did excellent.
But now it looks like it's a short, right?
Yeah, but like I said, it's just a reaction, right? Not a reversal. I think maybe we come up here and resume, maybe come all the way down here, but then most likely resume our way up. But of course, that's going to take time. So I TP'd up here following Zach's coattails. I didn't.
Zach is turning into one hell of a spread trader, eh? Fuck
yeah,
me.
He sure is.
Jesus Christ. It's so cool to see the people that we train on this site turn into just... You know who's turning into an absolutely insane trader right now is Casper. Jesus, he's a killer trader.
Oh, Casper, huh? I don't
think
he
was in the day trader room this morning. He's working with Sharktoshi to try and automate all this stuff on MT5.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. Very
cool.
Anyway, he made a killing in crude this morning, and he's like, all right, so 7 o'clock in the morning for you, Brian. I'm done. Have a great day. Toodaloo.
Bro.
It's great to watch all you guys. It's beautiful to watch you all trading up a storm. Jojo would be proud.
Yeah.
Now this is interesting. This is the one that I was telling Zach to short, and I don't know. Now he's probably gone, I don't know about this damn thing.
Yeah,
now.
I don't know about it either. We should be moving down by now. If these patterns are so good, then why are we still up here?
Yeah. Well, chalk this shitty pickup to Brian.
No, it's all right. I was expecting us to go down. It's just
maybe that was what was that price? Was that priced in gold or something? Maybe that's the problem.
No, it was just normal.
Well, maybe you got to put it in gold. Maybe that's what's wrong.
Exactly. Just keep it up in the chart until you end up being right. That's my method.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, Jesus, that one. And if I remember, this was a key reversal too. So yeah, I'm a bit surprised that thing's done as well as it has.
Yeah. You win some, you lose some. It's definitely good stuff from Zach's DB, but yeah, love seeing all the people on the DB. It's cool to see the vets come.
Yeah, I do like that. This is an interesting turn that we've taken with these daily briefs. Wouldn't mind getting some more long-time vets and stuff on these calls. It's working out pretty well. And, your contributions are awesome. Thank you, sir.
Happy sure.
Okay, gang. I didn't see any questions per se. Any of you guys have any? We don't get Steven on live here like this every day. So if you have any questions for him, of course, as you can see, he likes his harmonic. So all you level 3ers, I don't know if there's any level 3ers on the call right now, but if you have harmonic questions, you got about 10 seconds to pose them. Let's see over on YouTube.
I'm just going to shill. I'm not going to shill, but I'm going to tell you long-term plays. First was Bitcoin, then it was ETH. I think
you're going in on Solana?
I think there's a chance.
Son of a bitch. Well, this would mean that SBF is alive and kicking.
Well, he's been ejected as far as I... No, you're right. There's still a lot of coins under lockup, under his control, so yeah.
Is he in jail right now, or is he out on bail?
I have no idea. Good question.
I think I heard somewhere that he's not allowed to talk to his developers.
Jeez.
He is on bail. Nicholas says he's on bail. I don't know.
Anyway, maybe that's the FUD that we need to keep most people away from it. I don't know. It's a good chart. Plus the chain's awesome. Like, it's so fast.
What's that?
Or someone
Sorry?
says that's the chain. I don't know if you ever use it. Phantom Wallet here. That's a very user-friendly wallet,
Phantom?
and it's extremely fast. Yeah, that's the name of it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I got like a burner wallet right
Oh,
here.
so do you do all this decentralization shit?
Yeah, very simple, very easy.
There you
You can
go.
swap right in the wallet. NFTs. I don't have anything here. I just set this thing up.
And this is
Makes
all
sense.
Solana?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. Something to think about. It's
All
easy to
right.
get on chain, but that's another conversation.
Okay.
No questions?
No, looks like we're good over on YouTube. Somebody's saying I'm long from 1450. I think that was with regard to the Silvergate. I suppose if you like Solana, you probably that Silvergate does fine because I think they have a lot of that shit on the books. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, I think I do.
Fantastic presentation, sir. It's about what is it? About 20 to 11 here on the West Coast. I guess it's probably about what 20 to 1, 20 to 2 for you. So why don't we leave it at that for today? Thank you again so much, Stephen, for coming on the broadcast. I think we've killed the screen share, so we'll leave it at that. Let's see what we got here. Bitcoin tastes great. Still flirting with this neckline level. Hasn't broken yet, but I suppose on stamp here, the level I'll probably be watching if we get a close below. Where's that close? 22,763, 22,651 on a close level. Keep an eye out for that. You can see the moving averages are pointing down right now. So, the bears got the ball. If we puke out into the end of the day here, probably means that the selling is just getting going. So be careful, everybody. Slow and steady wins the race. If you've got little setups setting up, then, of course, have fun trading them. But just understand we're in a bit of a dangerous part of the market right here, right now. So you can see there's a bit of red coming on the screen here. All right. Have yourselves a wonderful rest of your day. Since, of course, Stephen is our presenter, he gets the honors to take us on out of here. So the only thing that... Whoops, better not leave the call now yet, eh? I'm still trying to figure out how all this social media crap works. Anyway. Only thing left for us to say here today, sir, if you could take us on out of here, I'd appreciate it, is...
Bye for now.
Hey, now that's with a bit of enthusiasm. I love it. Thank you. All right, have a good day, everybody. And as Steven says, bye for now.